Welcome to the Double E Show. Bad strategy, horribly simulated. What's going on, everybody? Jibba73 back with the Double E Show. It's Lamplight City. Welcome back, everybody. So when we left off in the last episode, we had gone to the lending office and spoke to the gentleman that is owed money. We went to the construction yard, and we spoke to the gentleman that was threatening the father. And now we're going to go to Mrs. Davis's quarters and talk to her, since she was there the night of the kidnapping. So let us do so now.
Come in.
Good day to you, ma'am. I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator. I'm looking into the kidnapping of Charles Harris. Are you Mrs. Davis?
I am. Oh, bless the spirits. They've sent someone to help at last. I'm so glad someone is on the case, especially now that someone has made demands.
Demands?
Yes, the Harrises just got the note about a half an hour ago. Didn't you know?
I didn't, but thank you for the information.
Okay. So let's look around.
That chest is full of undressed dolls? What the hell is wrong with this old bat?
He's so critical.
Another Harris hand-me-down, no doubt. You'd think they would have washed it first.
Okay.
Seems like that boiler's the only thing in here that's less than 10 years old. My mother had a pewter teapot as well. Always made the tea taste funny.
Right, because it's pewter?
It's a spirit reaching out to a very frightened man. Possibly the fakest looking photo I've ever seen.
Right. And then we've got...
This looks like a mourning portrait of a young woman. Probably a relative of Mrs. Davis.
Okay.
Painting of a tower on a Scottish moor. I wish I'd been able to make it over there. Painting of a misty forest with a cemetery in the background. Cheery stuff.
Right.
Her Majesty Queen Jessica. This was clearly painted a long time ago. Pretty distinguished looking gentleman. Handsome. Good fashion sense. Wonder who he is.
Right. Okay. So then what else we got? We've got books.
These are all books on spiritualism and the occult. Mrs. Davis doesn't seem to have many other hobbies.
Right.
A boy taking a nap under a tree while his dog runs around in the distance. That brings back some good memories. The Harris family doesn't seem to hold the comfort of their servants in very high regard. I think a bed of nails would be an improvement.
Okay, let's speak to her.
I have some questions for you, Mrs. Davis.
All right.
Tell me about the kidnapping of Charles Harris.
Oh, dear, may the spirits forgive me. I feel so awful. Charlie was my responsibility, and I failed.
Mrs. Davis, that is beside the point. What's important now is finding him and bringing him home. To do that, I need your full cooperation.
Oh, you're right, Mr. Fordham. I'm sorry. I just need to collect my thoughts, get the negative vibrations out of my mind. Now, what specifically would you like to know?
What time did the kidnapping occur?
I'm not entirely sure. I know I was in the nursery having a cup of tea about 8:30. I remember feeling very drowsy. I must have passed out then, because the next thing I knew, I was being woken by Mrs. Harris. To think, whoever took Charlie did it while I was in the room. Oh, may the spirits grant me peace.
Do you happen to take any sort of sleep medications or soporifics?
Oh, dear me, no. Those types of drugs cloud the mind and make it impossible to tune into the ether.
You say that as though it were a bad thing.
I beg your pardon?
Apologies, I spoke out of turn.
Okay. Let's see.
Can you think of any reason why someone would want to kidnap Charles?
Well, now that the Harrises have received a ransom note, it seems obvious that it was done for money. I just hope you find the poor child. He must be scared to death.
Okay.
I found this button in the baby's crib. Do you recognize it?
Why, yes. That's one of Barney's eyes.
Barney.
Charlie's stuffed bear. It's his favorite toy, a gift from my friend Linda.
I didn't find a stuffed bear in the nursery.
Then whoever took the baby must have taken Barney as well. Oh, at least the poor thing has something to comfort him. Bless the spirits.
Okay.
I found this piece of torn fabric in the nursery. Does it look familiar to you?
No, it doesn't. I'm sorry.
Okay, so let's ask about Linda.
Who is Linda?
Mrs. Linda Walker. She's a good friend of mine. As I said, she gave me Barney as a gift for Charlie.
Can you tell me anything else about her?
Oh, she's a lovely girl, very much in tune with her spiritual nature. I greatly enjoy my conversations with her.
When was the last time you saw her?
Oh, I don't remember. No, wait. It was at the last Spectre Society meeting on the 19th. That's right.
Okay.
What is the Specter Society?
It's a club for spiritualists and amateur investigators of the paranormal. We meet twice a month to socialize and discuss our findings.
I see. Sounds fascinating.
Oh, I don't expect you to share my beliefs, Mr. Fordham.
Oh, I have a bit more experience than you'd think with regards to the spirit world.
You can say that again.
Where exactly do these meetings take place?
At a private residence in Gascon.
May I have the address?
Why, yes, it's 325 Rue Jameau. Are you going to seek spiritual guidance to find Charlie?
Perhaps. You never know what might be worth looking into.
Right on. Let's see if I can get Linda's address.
Do you have Linda Walker's address?
No, I don't. I never visited her home. I get the feeling she doesn't like having visitors or being home very much. She prefers to meet people elsewhere. I was the same way after my husband died. It was embarrassing for my friends to see me living so differently. But I feel it's not just a matter of pride for dear Linda. I think there are lots of bad memories associated with where she lives. I try to stay away from places like that. They leave a mark on the soul, you know.
Okay.
How long have you worked as a nanny?
Only a few years. I never had to work when I was married. My husband had a lot of money. Unfortunately, he was in great debt, and after the spirits took him back to the ether, I wasn't left with much. So I began working as a nanny to make ends meet. But I consider taking care of children a reward in its own right.
Cool.
That's a lovely portrait. Who is it of?
That is my late husband, Jonathan. He used to attend meetings of the Spectre Society with me, bless him. I tried to get him to be more in tune with the other side, but I think he was just humoring me. He was a good man. Everyone at the society cared for him very much.
I couldn't help but notice that chest full of dolls in the corner.
Oh, that. Oh, I know it must look a bit strange, but I pick up old and broken dolls so they can be repaired and donated to orphanages.
There you go.
It's my way of giving back to the community and helping poor children who have nothing to play with.
Well, what a kind soul. I wish you would find less creepy ways to express her altruism.
I don't think she knows of any suspects, so we're going to end it there.
Thank you for your time, Mrs. Davis.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I think that means we need to go back to the house. Back to the house and talk about the... Oh, wait a minute. Instead of doing that, because we're going to ask about what they received for a ransom, let's follow up on this Linda person that Mrs. Davis had recommended. So This is the Specter Society here. So yeah, let's head there. Okay.
Too dark to tell what's inside. They must enjoy the somber atmosphere. Too dark to tell.
Okay. All right. Knock on the door.
Yes? May I help you?
This is the Spectre Society, right? I'm interested in joining.
Ah, yes, it is. Welcome, darling. Our membership process is a bit different to most social clubs. We require a sponsor.
Sounds simple enough.
Well, you see, we ask that sponsors be people who have passed on into the spirit world. Once you name your sponsor, I will attempt communication beyond the ether. When they answer, you will be judged and considered for membership.
Okay. Okay, let's...
I've got a sponsor.
Excellent. What is the name of your sponsor, darling?
Jonathan Davis is my sponsor.
You knew Jonathan? He was such a kind man.
Hey, that worked.
Yes, I can feel his presence, and it speaks positively of you.
Please, come in, Mr. I didn't catch your name.
It's Miles Fordham.
And I am Angela Maxwell, the founder of the Spectre Society. Welcome.
May I offer you some refreshments? Some water or tea, perhaps?
You're very kind, but I'm afraid I must decline right now.
Well, please let me know if you change your mind.
Would you look at this place? It's like a candy store for psychics.
Okay, so let's go save. Because you just never know. Okay, let's look around a bit.
Those are some creepy twin girls. I could see a passing resemblance to Miss Maxwell, actually. There's quite a few members in this group.
There's Angela, Monica, Sophia, Thomas, Linda. That's the one we care about. I like how they just used a variety of different fonts. Norwal, I can't really read that. Randall, Henrietta, Edward, Lagrange, Cynthia. Comments. Angela, the meeting was wonderful. Cynthia. Anyone interested in a used spirit board? Please let Thomas know. Linda, looking forward to having you over at the manor next week. Come around 8 p.m. and you can meet Charlie. Huh. So Henrietta was also a member of the Spirit Society. Interesting. Yeah. Please ask the spirits to cure my son's illness, Sophia. Very interesting.
What a fascinating device. Exactly what does it do?
That is an etherometer. It's designed to pick up vibrations from the ether and translate messages from the spirits.
Very cool.
I think I've seen one of these before. What does it do?
It's a spirit board. We use it to contact spirits, and they in turn spell out a message with the letters on the board.
Well, I've got a message from Miss Maxwell if she ever tries to use a spirit board around me.
Okay.
That's probably the storage case for the spirit board.
Right.
A great man once said to me, "Bill, you aren't going to get very far in life just staring at balls." He's dead now. But then again, so am I. Ooh, spooky. That ghost between the two people almost manages to look convincing.
How could he be such a skeptic of ghosts? You're dead, you're talking to your former partner. Members are free to borrow books as long as you check with me first. We have The Secrets of Astral Projection, Metempsychosis, okay, The Art of the Seance, Terrors of the Deep, The Giant Squid, Voodoo in New Bretagne, Mediums, Gateways to the Spirit World, What Lies Beyond the Veil, The Mysteries of Spontaneous Combustion, Secrets of the Tarot, and Spirits in the Ether. The Ether, which is to say the outer void. Okay, there's some very interesting stuff. The Magician. Oh, these are tarot cards, yep. Okay. 23. The victims are chronic alcoholics. They are usually elderly females. The hands and feet usually fall off. The fire has caused very little damage to other things around the body. Interesting. I'm not really reading these. I'm just trying to see if I can glean some informations. Common gree pouch. There you go.
Chicken bones and dust for bad luck in business, huh? That sounds awfully familiar.
So that was in this, right? Yeah. So then Terrors of the Deep. I almost said tarot. Artist depiction of giant squid. Okay. This is a spirit board. Conducting a seance is not a matter to be taken lightly when making attempts to contact those in the spirit realm. The spirit medium must be in a relaxed state prior to commencing the seance. In some instances, spirit board may be used. The planchette, which is French for little board. The planchette is the thing you move around a spirit board, which can take the form of a pointer on 3 legs or magnifying glass on legs. Okay. The board is used as follows. 1, to all of the participants in the seance place 1 or 2 fingers on the planchette, which is in the middle of the board. The appointed medium asks questions of the spirits with whom they are attempting to communicate. Okay. The spirit leaving the body to pet the cat. And lastly, yeah, the astral projection stuff.
It's nice of Miss Maxwell to let people borrow her books, even if they are all just a bunch of nonsense. And coming from me, that's really saying something.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay. Interesting.
The plaque says Leonora Pattinson, seer. She looks like someone I would not want to fool around with.
Right. Okay. We got tarot cards on the table.
I never much cared for all that mystic stuff. Why should your life be dictated by a bunch of cards?
Okay, let's go ahead and talk to her.
Could I ask you about some things, Miss Maxwell?
Certainly, darling.
Okay. So we're going to start out with
What can you tell me about the Spectre Society?
Where to begin? I formed this club 2 years ago, right after I moved to New Bretagne. During our meetings, we discuss our experiences with paranormal phenomena and organize investigations.
What sort of investigations?
We look into places all around the city which have been reported as haunted. New Bretagne is teeming with the spirits of those killed during the French and British takeovers of the city. Not only that, but there is a prevalence of mystic religious practices here in Gascon, brought over by immigrants from the Antilles.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
There are plenty of books on the subject over there in the bookcase, if you're interested in learning more.
Okay.
Do you know anything about the kidnapping of Charles Harris?
I'm afraid I haven't heard anything about any kidnappings, darling. If you wish, I can commune with the spirits and see if I can help locate your missing person.
That won't be necessary, Miss Maxwell, though I appreciate the offer. I spoke with Henrietta Davis, and she mentioned one of your other members, Linda Walker. Can you tell me anything about her?
Linda. Poor dear. Of all our members, she is the one I feel for the most.
Why is that?
She's had a tragic life, but I believe the Spectre Society has helped her greatly. Not only has she made a good friend in Henrietta, she's also dealt with her grief in a positive way. She has devoured my collection of books, educated herself on many subjects. I would say she's become an expert on clairvoyance and metempsychosis. It's always nice to know that the club can help those who have suffered.
Do you see her often?
Yes, she comes by about once or twice a week.
What can you tell me about Linda and Henrietta's friendship?
It's so lovely to see them together at the meetings. They're practically inseparable. It's quite sweet. They often leave messages for each other in the guest book. When Linda found out that Henrietta was taking care of an infant, she even gave her a toy bear for the child. I remember Linda lighting up with excitement when she asked about him. She really loves children. It's such a terrible shame about... But please, let's discuss something more pleasant, shall we, darling?
Okay. I have a feeling that Linda lost her husband and child during one of the, during the accident with the airship from the Harris's factory. And it's her that took the child. That is my
I'm sorry,
belief.
what was it you said? Madam Psy, what?
Metempsychosis, darling. It's a philosophical term which comes from ancient Greece. It refers to the transmigration of the soul after death.
Is that anything like reincarnation?
Essentially, yes. There's a book on the subject over in the bookcase, which can tell you far more than I possibly could.
Okay.
What's this tragic story about Linda you mentioned?
Oh, dear. I probably shouldn't say.
Okay. Oh, I think you most definitely should. Knowing more about Linda could help me find a missing child. What are you afraid the spirits are going to tell on you?
Miss Maxwell, I'm going to be frank. I'm investigating a kidnapping, and Mrs. Walker is a person of interest. I need to know as much about her as possible to help me solve this case. Do I make myself clear?
Well, if it will help, Linda was married to a man named Thomas. Together, they had a son named Alexander. Thomas revealed himself to be a terribly cruel man. When he gave himself over to the drink, he would fly into rages and beat both Linda and the boy. One day, she came home to find both her son and husband dead.
My God, what happened?
The police ruled it a murder-suicide. Poisoning, apparently. Linda has been trying to make contact with Alexander's spirit for the past year or so, but has had no luck. It really is a terrible tragedy.
Okay.
Do you know Linda Walker's address?
I'm afraid not, darling. Linda has always been somewhat private, and that's not something I consider to be crucial information.
Right on.
Do you know any way I can find her?
You could always come back for our next meeting. It will be the first Thursday of next month.
By then, we'll have completely lost track of Charles. There has to be another way of finding Linda.
What made you decide to start up this club?
I began communing with the spirits at a very early age. My twin sister, Rachel, died after falling into an icy pond when we were 8 years old.
I'm very sorry, Miss Maxwell.
Oh, I appreciate your sympathy, darling, but don't feel too bad. Rachel began speaking to me shortly after that. She has served as my spirit guide ever since.
Spirit guide? You mean you still speak with her?
Oh, yes. Every day. In fact, I was just speaking with her before you arrived. As I grew older, I realized there were others in the world who were also able to communicate with spirits, and those who had an interest in what lies beyond the ether. And so, once I moved to New Bretagne, I decided to start up this club so we could gather and share our experiences.
Do you suppose she can hear what I'm saying? Hey, Angela, try a bit less eyeshadow, would you? You look like a purple raccoon. Nothing. Clearly a fraud. Ah, well.
I was wondering,
Yes?
when you communicate with the spirits, are you able to stop?
If I wish them to leave me, yes. I bid them farewell, and they usually depart back into the ether.
What about the more persistent ones?
You do remember I'm right here, don't you?
Well, just between you and me. Those spirits are best dealt with by having the other kind of spirits. Quiets them right down.
I prefer soporific myself.
Oh? You hear the voices of the spirits as well, Mr. Fordham. But of course, now the reason for your visit to the Spectre Society is obvious. Do you see? All our paths eventually become clear. I'm glad yours has brought you here.
Oh, wonderful. Now she started rhyming. Don't get any funny ideas about telling her about me. She may be a lunatic, but that's no reason to expose yourself as one, too.
This is a tough call. No.
Thank you for the information. It was very enlightening.
It was my pleasure, darling.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, right? So, if I look at the
There's
guest
quite a
book
few
again,
members in this group.
right? So, there's Henriette. Well, hey,
There's quite a few members.
yeah, I got it. So, here's the thing, right? And then if I come back over here, right? So, the voodoo one, right? So, Grigri also originated in Africa. Grigri, for sending away an enemy, contains items like gunpowder or red pepper. Usually the person's name is written on paper and included in the bag. To bring someone bad luck in business, the Grigri would contain chicken bones and graveyard dust. So that's the bag that keeps getting sent to the Harrises. So, yeah. Okay. So, that explains that. All right, let's let us leave. Now,
I'll be going now.
May the spirits guide you to that which you seek.
okay. Let's go back to Mrs. Davis's quarters in the next episode. If you like what you're watching, hit that like and subscribe button down below. Tell your family, tell your friends. If you have any suggestions, tips, tricks, no spoilers, things you might think will help us along, put them in the comments below, because I'll read them. And with that, I'll catch you next Monday for another episode of Lamplight City. Peace. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, check out the playlist above, or watch what YouTube tells you to on the right. Oh yeah, and subscribe.